Oliver and I are twins. I differentiated into a beta, while Oliver became an omega. I was born 1 minute later, which meant I was destined to lose to Oliver in everything. I'm just an ordinary beta, and everyone prefers the beautiful omegas. Even my boyfriend, whom I thought loved me deeply, showed his true colors after Oliver's accident. If Oliver's hand can't heal, your hand will pay the same price. It turned out I was just a substitute for Oliver. Heartbroken, I crashed my car. When I woke up again, I was back at 20 years old. 1. I don't want to admit that my past life was miserable. I was born into a middle-class family and have a twin brother. Before we differentiated at age 10, I was just as innocent and lively as anyone else. Mom and Dad didn't show favoritism. Oliver and I had a pretty good relationship. When we were kids, my favorite game with Oliver was swap identities. We looked very similar. Besides our parents, almost no one could tell us apart correctly. Whenever I pretended to be Oliver, I could easily fool others. But after we differentiated, no one mixed us up anymore, because I became a plain, ordinary beta, while Oliver became an omega. Maybe being born later sealed my fate to always lose to Oliver. From then on, our lives went in completely different directions. As a kid, I didn't understand why my parents suddenly stopped liking me, while they still treated Oliver well. I tried to cry and make a fuss to get their attention, but my parents were only annoyed. You're grown up now. Stop crying. Why can't you be more like your brother Oliver? He's so well-behaved and adorable. To everyone else, Oliver seemed gentle, polite, elegant, and handsome, while I became the bad kid who never listened. People blamed me for things, and my parents said it was because they hadn't raised me well. I wanted to laugh. What kind of upbringing had they even given me? Their eyes were only on Oliver. 2. At 12, I was sent to boarding school. For 6 years after that, my parents barely cared about me, except sending me a monthly allowance. Oliver was kept close and cared for meticulously. Just because I was a beta, I was ignored so completely. Oliver and I share the same birthday. The year I first went to boarding school, I tried everything to escape and come home. Why are you back? At such a young age, you've already learned to skip school? I just wanted to celebrate my birthday with my family. It was my birthday too, after all. But the birthday cake only had Oliver's name on it. After that, I never celebrated my birthday again. My parents placed high hopes on Oliver, and Oliver didn't disappoint. He was talented at piano. By 15, he was somewhat famous, and at 18, he got accepted to a prestigious music university. My parents focused on Oliver's education, hoping he would mingle with the elite. They wanted him to marry a top-class alpha. Those who differentiate into alphas carry superior genes, and alphas become leaders in society, the top of the pyramid. 3. No one expected that I, a beta, would be the first to date an alpha. Not just any alpha, but the heir of a traditional imperial family. I was with William for 5 years. During those 5 years, William cared for me deeply, gentle and considerate. He filled the void I had from never feeling truly loved. He rushed over one stormy night when I was sick, stayed up all night taking care of me. My lack of love caused many personality issues. I often had bad moods. William would comfort me, telling me it wasn't my fault. He would coax me and tolerate my bad temper. He surprised me with gifts from time to time. He remembered my habits and preferences, and so much more. On our 5-year anniversary, William gave me an energy planet as a gift. The planet was renamed SY. It's from the initials of our surnames, he said, telling me that all the resources on that planet now belonged to me. This energy planet was an asset of his family. By transferring it to me, William was publicly declaring I was his future partner. Alphas marrying betas is very rare, especially when it's the heir of a great family and a beta from a small family. The media widely reported on it, praising our love. To me, William was the perfect lover. Everyone said William must be crazy about me, and I naturally believed that too, until the accident happened. Oliver fell down the stairs. His worst injury was to the hand he used to play piano. The doctor said it might affect his ability to play in the future. Oliver broke down as soon as he heard he might never play again. tears rolling down his cheeks. Omegas secrete special hormones. Since Oliver became an omega, his skin became even paler and more delicate, although we had similarly good looks. Upon closer inspection, Oliver's features looked more refined than mine. He looked pitiful when he cried. In front of everyone, he accused me. "Did you push me down the stairs?" I said no, but no one believed me, because when Oliver fell, I was standing right behind him. No matter how many times I said I didn't push him, it was useless. Just from Oliver's accusation, everyone assumed I was guilty without any evidence. They said I used to bully Oliver out of jealousy, that I was rotten to the core. My parents said if Oliver ended up with any lasting damage, then they didn't want me as their son anymore. My childhood friends said if Oliver's hand could never play piano again, he would never forgive me. I could endure all the blame and false accusations, but I never expected William to say, "If Oliver's hand can't heal, then you don't need your hand either." 4. It was only then that I realized William had always liked Oliver. I wasn't even a substitute, just a tool William used to provoke Oliver. William had known Oliver since high school, and it was Oliver he truly fell for at first sight. William, born an alpha and a privileged heir, never held back his feelings. He was forward and passionate toward Oliver. But when Oliver said he wasn't ready for a relationship, William quietly stayed by his side. He waited until Oliver got accepted into the music university. William threw an incredibly romantic party to celebrate and confessed that night. He swore his love, only to be rejected by Oliver. All their mutual friends knew about it. They also knew William pursued me just to make Oliver jealous. But no one ever let that slip in front of me. They all played along with William's act, while I looked like a fool, completely unaware. Even Oliver, knowing William's feelings, never told me a word. That Energy Planet's name wasn't the initials of both of us at all. It was actually the initials of Oliver's full name. Such a ridiculous coincidence. So melodramatic. I foolishly believed I'd found true love. I gave myself, body and soul, without reservation. Little did I know, they were probably laughing behind my back. Heartbroken and mentally distraught, I crashed my car. The car smashed through the coastal highway barrier and plunged into the sea. When I woke up, I realized I had been reborn, back to when I was 25. My hand trembled slightly as I held my phone. My heart raced and chills ran down my body. Just a moment ago, I had been drowning in the ocean. I sat on the bed for a long time before I could gather my thoughts. The mattress beneath me was soft and comfortable. My skin could feel the cool air from the room's AC. Everything felt real. Not a dream. I had truly been reborn. The room before me was both familiar and strange. It was the guest room at Lucas's house. Lucas was a friend Oliver and I had in common. We grew up together, kind of childhood sweethearts. Lucas was also the first person I liked during my awkward teenage years. My reason for liking him was pretty cliché. Once, when I got lost in elementary school, Lucas found me. After that, I stuck to him like glue. Over time, I grew dependent on him. Later, after differentiating into a beta, being ignored by everyone, I clung to Lucas even more. At boarding school, I only got 1 2-day break each month. My parents didn't like me coming home, so I usually stayed at Lucas's place. That's where this room is. I once naively thought Lucas was different, until one day I skipped class because I wasn't feeling well. I went to Lucas's house without telling him beforehand. Some things just seemed destined. That day, the front door wasn't fully closed. I overheard Lucas say to Oliver, "Why can't Oliver be clingy to me like Ethan is?" Oliver replied, "Because you saved him when he was little. That's why he sticks to you." Lucas sighed. "That's always been a misunderstanding." Oliver asked, "What do you mean?" "I used to always mix you two up when we were kids. Actually, that time I mistook Ethan for you." Lucas explained. He said if he had known it was me who got lost back then, he wouldn't have panicked so much. Listening from behind the door, I felt like lightning had struck. That was when I realized my feelings for Lucas. But sadly, just as I recognized them, they were doomed to fade away. 6. Yesterday was Lucas's birthday. I remember in my past life, it was William who brought me there. William and Lucas had been high school classmates. I thought they were just close friends. Now I realize William wanted to see Oliver. So when I saw those two familiar figures in the backyard, I wasn't too surprised. William and Oliver both had their backs to me. Why didn't you come last night? William's tone to Oliver was much softer than how he talked to me. There were too many alphas there yesterday. It wasn't convenient for me to come. Oliver answered quietly. What are you afraid of with me around? William's arrogant tone almost made me laugh. Oliver looked understanding. You're already dating my brother now. Be more serious about him. William hurriedly said. You know why I'm with him. Are you trying to make me mad? In my past life, I never woke up this early. I woke up near noon, with William by my side. He checked if I felt uncomfortable when I woke up. I really admired William. He lavished attention on his white moonlight early in the morning, yet could still act so tender toward me. Dying once changed my perspective on many things. Looking back on my pathetic, brief past life, my biggest regret was never truly living for myself. God gave me a second chance. I didn't want to waste any more time on those who weren't worth it. If dating me makes you so miserable, then let's break up. I was never one to endure silently. Besides, breaking up with William was the first thing I wanted to do after being reborn. Ethan, you're awake. William turned, panic flashing in his eyes. Oliver's back stiffened as well. I repeated the breakup and walked away. 7. When I got home, my parents looked a little surprised to see me. In my past life, after moving in with William, I never came back. It had been almost 4 years. There were guests at home. Seeing James and his parents briefly made me dizzy. James's family lived next door. Our parents were close and used to visit each other often. Contact was cut off only after they moved away. James was 3 years older than me. We usually differentiated between ages 10 to 15. But James showed no sign of differentiation even at 23. He was classified as a beta. But privately, people said he was disabled. James was very tall, almost 6'2", handsome like a prince. He excelled at everything from a young age. Such a perfect man couldn't be recognized because he never differentiated. My parents praised James to his parents, but secretly looked down on him. They knew Oliver liked James and tried hard to keep them apart. Later, James became a hotshot in the Interstellar Alliance. My parents regretted it deeply. But when they wanted to reconnect with James, they couldn't find any way to contact him. In my past life, I had little contact with James. Apart from my parents, James was the only person who could correctly tell Oliver and me apart before we differentiated. He always saw through my disguises and acted mature, calling me childish, though he was only 7 then. He was a precocious kid, never fitting in and always putting me down. I always felt defeated by him. I thought James hated me, so I hated him too. I never cared about James's news in my past life. I didn't know when his family moved away. I didn't know when he joined the military. Until James became famous in a great battle and differentiated into a high-level alpha. In the following years, James earned many military honors and rose quickly in rank within the alliance. He became a household name. I could hear about him everywhere without even looking for news. I heard many tried to marry into James's family, including my parents. When they couldn't find James, they thought of me, hoping I could use William's network to contact him. That was also when I learned Oliver secretly liked James. I even joked about it with William back then. Looking back, William's mood actually changed after hearing about Oliver's crush. But I was too foolish to notice, thinking he was just tired. 8. I looked up and met James's gaze. His eyes were as dark and deep as an abyss. It felt like he had been sizing me up since I walked in. Aren't you back, Ethan? Aunt was the first to greet me. My parents could no longer deliberately ignore me. Why didn't William come back with you? To them, I was still less important than any outsider. I walked straight over to James and sat down beside him, smiling. You're in the military now, right? On the way back, I had been thinking about my future. I wanted to completely distance myself from these people. Joining the army was my best option. Omegas have heat cycles. During their heat, their pheromones severely affect alphas on the battlefield. That's why omegas are strictly banned from any interstellar military or political roles. It was a realm Oliver would never touch. By staying away from Oliver, others could vanish from my life too. Can you help me enlist? I heard each of you gets one recommendation spot per year. Betas who want to join the Interstellar Alliance military either go through military academy or rely on merit. I had already missed the best timing, but now there might still be a shortcut. I couldn't guarantee James would help me, but I had to try. Are you serious? James's answer gave me hope. The James in front of me was quite different from the one in my memories. In my past life, my impression of James was limited to TV news, mostly photos and written reports. In the rare real interviews, James always appeared stern and cold in his uniform. By then, he was the youngest colonel in the Interstellar Alliance, becoming someone out of reach. Now, James didn't feel so intimidating. Everyone underestimated him. Of course I'm serious. My mom interrupted angrily. What nonsense are you talking? I knew they didn't care if I really joined the army. They just feared if I left, their golden son-in-law William would be gone. My parents didn't care about my future. It wasn't as heartbreaking as last life anymore. Aren't I always the bad kid in your eyes? I spoke bluntly. Afraid the golden son-in-law will run off? Don't worry. Just persuade your precious William. He likes Oliver. Just let them be together. 9. What nonsense are you talking? Oliver's angry voice sounded behind me. I turned around. Not only him, but William was there too. Oliver rarely dropped his obedient act. Maybe he was worried James would misunderstand. That's why he looked so displeased. William frowned slightly. Ethan, you misunderstood. Really? I'm the one making things up? I smiled indifferently and turned back to James. I'll wait to hear from you. James gave a quiet William suddenly grabbed my wrist. Ethan, come with me. I need to talk. I couldn't refuse, so he pulled me onto the balcony. What do you want to say? I pulled my hand back. Ethan, it's not what you think. Oh, then what is it? I didn't want to hear William's excuses. Don't you like Oliver? William fell silent. I smiled. So I'm doing you a favor, aren't I? William snapped irritably. Can you stop causing trouble? I sneered. Looks like hitting a nerve really breaks your defense. Ethan, just as William finished scolding me, the sliding door opened. James calmly stepped out, flicking the cigarette between his fingers. Have a smoke. William's mood was abruptly interrupted. An embarrassment flashed across his face. I wasn't sure if James meant it or not, but at that moment he looked incredibly cool. From their conversation, I learned James's family was moving out tomorrow, so my parents invited them over for a farewell dinner tonight. I knew my parents didn't want me staying to eat, so I packed my things and prepared to leave. The meteorite bracelet pressed painfully into my palm. It was supposed to be William's birthday gift. Like last life, the bracelet mysteriously arrived at my house. I secretly took it away. But unlike last time, I wasn't coming back just to take it today. This bracelet could never be given to William now. Custom jewelry can't be returned. And this one was very expensive. I had almost spent all my savings. I was such a fool in my past life. Dragging my suitcase past the living room. Everyone was already sitting at the dining table ready to eat. Only James sat on the couch. James's parents wanted to say something, but were cut off by my parents. James stood and looked at me calmly. Not joining us for dinner? I was stunned, used to being ignored, yet suddenly feeling unexpectedly sad. William, my boyfriend, ignored me at the table. James, who had always disliked me since childhood, asked why I wasn't eating with them. In front of everyone, I took out a velvet gift box and placed it before James. This is for you. James looked up at me. I smiled. Thanks for going the extra mile for me. James opened the black velvet box. The meteorite inside sparkled brilliantly under the living room lights. William and Oliver's expressions instantly soured. 10. After I left, Oliver said to William, "Aren't you going to comfort him?" William shrugged. I spoiled him too much. That's why he's acting unreasonable. He was so sure. Within days, Ethan would come crawling back. James walked over and sat next to his parents. William glanced at the velvet box James left on the table. He pretended not to care. Are you going to accept such a half-hearted gift? James looked up at him. William chuckled. This is supposed to be his birthday present for me. In my past life, I never hid anything from William. So I told him early on I wanted to give him a meteorite bracelet, thinking of going back. James's expression remained calm. William froze for a moment. Annoyed. What a joke. I can order as many of these bracelets as I want. Oh. James coolly opened the velvet box, took out the bracelet, and put it on. Then he said slowly, So what are you upset about? Not being able to order the exact same one? William's face instantly turned even uglier. 11. 2 days later. James informed me to get ready for enlistment. I hadn't expected him to move so fast. Being recommended to enlist was made public. I wasn't sure about James's current rank in the military, but in another year, everyone would want to use him as a connection. Right now, I was wearing the title of being recommended by James, which would definitely help me a lot in the future. The intense, grueling training for new recruits was tough to handle, but I wanted to stand out. My options were limited, so no matter how hard or exhausting it was, I had to push through. During training, I never ran into James, but he was a hot topic among many people. A powerful beta without differentiation attracted envy. The alphas couldn't do anything to James, so naturally, they targeted me, the new recruit James had recommended. Several alphas cornered me in the bathroom and beat me up. They called me a useless brat who only got in because of connections. I endured it, but when they sarcastically said that useless brats and disabled people belong together, I couldn't take it anymore. I didn't care if they called me useless or nepotistic, but I wouldn't tolerate them insulting James as disabled right in front of me. I knew how amazing James's future would be. Besides, he had helped me. I had to defend him. I lunged at those alphas and started fighting. Betas stood no chance against alphas. After a few punches, they pinned me down and beat me mercilessly. Their fists hit me like punching bags. My stomach and back ached from their kicks. My mouth tasted like blood. I felt like throwing up. Just then, the bathroom door was kicked open forcefully. The alphas around me were violently pulled away. I heard muffled thuds of punches hitting flesh. Through blurred vision, I saw a tall and strong figure. He knocked all the alphas, roughly his size, down to the ground. So stupid. Before I fainted, that deep voice slammed into my mind. 12. I woke up lying in a medical pod. My injuries had already been healed by the pod. Using a medical pod was very expensive. Unless severely injured, most people wouldn't choose it. James was standing outside. When he saw I was awake, he helped open the pod door. So James had saved me. I slowly sat up and hoarsely said, Bro, I can't pay for this right now. James handed me a bag of nutritional fluid. Why did you go head-on against them? When you don't have strength, you should learn to show weakness. I sucked on the nutrient bag and replied helplessly, Even if I show weakness, will they leave me alone? It'll make you get hit less. James said this seriously. I couldn't help but laugh. Have you ever been beaten up by a group? James kept a straight face. Often. I was surprised. Even now. James calmly said, It's common in the military. I sighed. I guess being too good isn't always a blessing. Too many jealous people. James's lips curled slightly. His smile was faint and vanished quickly. But my heart skipped a beat in that brief smile. James was definitely handsome. Handsome enough that even though he wasn't differentiated, and was secretly called disabled, his popularity among Omegas was surprisingly high. His appearance was misleading. So I didn't think my racing heart was because I was attracted to him. 13. Maybe it was just my imagination. But after that, I started seeing James more often. James. I always greeted him first. James was cold by nature. Most of the time, he just nodded back at me. Occasionally, he'd chat with me for a bit. My roommates teased. You're so eager with him. Are you trying to join his squad? After new recruit training, you had to choose the squad you wanted to join. Compared to the alpha captains, James's squad was the most popular choice. With my top 3 grades, I had the priority to choose first. Of course, I picked James's squad first. I was confident he'd approve my application. But he actually rejected me. Why did you refuse to let me join your squad? You think I'm not good enough? By my chrodes, I definitely qualified for his team. I already applied for a squad better suited for you. James didn't answer my question directly, though I didn't understand why. I didn't have the right to ask more. In the end, I joined the squad James chose for me. My attempts to flatter James looked like sucking up to others. Many talked behind my back. Maybe James didn't want me to cling to him either. He had already done all he could for me, so I kept my distance from him. After training ended, our communication devices were no longer restricted. Not long after, William called me once. Are you really planning to stay in the army forever? I didn't answer. He still spoke like he was doing me a favor. Ethan, don't do something you'll regret just to spite me. I scoffed and hung up. Then I blocked his number on my device. 14. I started mech simulation classes. After getting familiar with the mech, I realized how difficult it was to control. Alphas had much stronger mental abilities than betas, so they had a natural advantage in piloting mechs. The more advanced the mech, the harder it was to control. But in the battle that made James famous, he didn't just single-handedly turn the tide. He did it piloting only a C-class mech. That mech was already heavily damaged during the fight. It was scrapped right after the battle. That was a fight no one expected to win. Afterward, James was hailed as a legendary figure. His scrapped mech was put in a museum. The battlefield wasn't a game. Before rookies like me could enter real combat, we had to pass many tests. The most important was mech simulation combat. Unfortunately, this was my weak spot. I felt like I was controlling it fine, but after several tests, my scores barely passed. My squad leader was quite considerate. Still, he seemed a bit disappointed in my simulation scores. He said seriously, Ethan, if you don't improve in the final test, you might get assigned to logistics. I joined the army to fight on the front lines, to change my fate with achievements. I couldn't settle for logistics. During that period, I was anxious. The more I wanted to do well, the worse I performed. Just when I felt down, the squad leader suddenly sent a video to my device. I opened it and found recordings of all my simulation battles. Every mistake and flaw was clipped and annotated. The video showed me exactly how to improve. It helped me a lot. My next simulation score improved significantly. Excited, I ran to thank the squad leader. He said, "You should thank James." I froze. I hadn't expected James to be behind that video. At that moment, I felt mixed emotions. I couldn't tell exactly why. 15. I brought a basket of fruit to see James. I was surprisingly nervous the whole way there. The moment I saw James, my brain froze. I just stood there, mouth open, only managing to say, "I." James's eyes were half-lidded as he glanced at the fruit basket in my hands. "Coming to say thanks." I nodded. He asked, "How were your results this time?" I answered immediately, "I got a B+ this time." James's lips curved slightly. "I stayed up 2 nights making that video, and you only brought me a basket of fruit? That's not enough, is it? What else do you want? Tell me. I'll get you anything I can buy." I was eager and genuinely wanted to please him. "Take me out for a meal." Oh, all right. I thought he wanted something fancy, but he said the cafeteria would do. On the way to the cafeteria, a call came in from an unknown number. Curious, I answered. "I have a new partner now." The first sentence from the other end left me speechless. "Oh, congratulations. If you come back to me now, I might still give you a chance." William's entitled tone made me want to hang up immediately. I don't know where he got the confidence to think that by offering me some so-called chance, I would turn back and beg for peace. I found him annoying and blocked his number, but he shamelessly called me from a new number. "Still chasing Oliver?" "Ethan, you." I shot back sarcastically, and sure enough, William got angry. I didn't give him a chance to continue and hung up again, blocking that number too. James glanced at me and asked, "X?" I nodded awkwardly. "Let it go. People who don't love me aren't worth my attention." James didn't say anything more. I thought he didn't care and changed the subject. From then on, whenever I had trouble, I shamelessly asked James for advice. Luckily, he never refused. Every time, I would treat him to a meal. The more I interacted with James, the more I realized he wasn't as cold as he seemed. He was actually a gentle person. 16. My first battle was a small-scale fight. Originally, only our squad was sent, but James showed up too. Why is this small strike team being interfered with? The captain joked, smiling at me. I didn't want to think much about it, but felt my face flush and heart race. James showed no reaction. I was assigned to help you. The captain scoffed. They don't trust me upstairs? James nodded expressionlessly. The captain flipped him off jokingly. I really want to expose you. The attacking bug swarm wasn't large. Real battle felt completely different from simulation. For the first time, I was truly fired up. In my past life, drowning, death felt full of hopeless fear. Now, I didn't care about life or death. During the fight, I noticed James was always nearby. It felt like he was protecting me. Maybe because I was piloting the mech with James's guidance. We coordinated perfectly. After the fight, I had minor injuries. James handed me some cooling treatment gel. You did well today. My hand froze for a moment taking it, and my heart inexplicably sped up. Compared to winning, James's praise made me happier. He joined the next 2 battles too. What's your relationship with James? During training breaks, a teammate who got along well with me teased. We're neighbors. I heard a few people ask James for recommendation before, but got rejected. You're the only one he's recommended. Maybe he sees me like a younger brother. The teammate bumped my shoulder meaningfully. Not just that. Before you joined our squad, James even warned our captain in advance. And you know, 1 strike team is enough for this kind of small fight. James must have come because he was worried about you. Those words unsettled me. Maybe the first time was really in order, but the other 2 times didn't add up. With James's strength, he didn't need small fights to build his record. I didn't want to overthink it, but I couldn't help it. I had already noticed my feelings for James had changed. I didn't know when it started, but I became very attentive to news about James. Whenever I saw him, my heart fluttered. It raced. I was falling for him, but I wouldn't allow those feelings to grow. The future James would be a leader at the top of the pyramid. His partner would definitely be an exceptional Omega. Soon, we would be worlds apart. I knew my place. No matter what, I wasn't worthy of him. 17. Why are you avoiding me again? I wanted to escape my feelings and keep distance from James. I didn't expect him to stop me and ask directly. I couldn't find an explanation. James lowered his eyelids, quietly staring at me like he wouldn't let me go without an answer. I've been too busy lately. I could only come up with an excuse. I heard you only train in the mornings and rest in the afternoons. James mercilessly saw through it. Bro, did you want to see me for something? I chose to change the subject. Can't I look for you if I don't have anything? James's tone was flat, but I could tell he was annoyed. Sorry. Why apologize? Are you mad at me? No. I was just wondering if I made you angry. What? James's words shocked me. Why would he think he upset me? No. Why would he even care? You. Suddenly, James handed me something, cutting me off. I looked. It was a chip. What's this? The ownership of an energy planet. I didn't understand at first. Wow, what energy planet? The energy planet that belongs to you. When I inserted the chip into my device, the energy planet number shown was exactly the same as the one William gave me in my past life. I was stunned. Was this a coincidence? This energy planet isn't part of the William family's resources? James didn't deny it. The William family was corrupt at the roots. A while ago, many assets were confiscated, including this energy planet, which I bought at auction. Was it expensive? I couldn't imagine how pricey an energy planet could be. Not too bad. I didn't believe him and trembled slightly. Why? Why would you give me something so valuable? You gave me the meteorite bracelet. James raised his left hand, the sleeve slipping back to reveal the meteorite bracelet on his wrist. I had noticed he wore that bracelet every day. The value of these two things isn't even comparable. I looked away guiltily. When I gave James the bracelet, I secretly wanted to annoy William. Consider this an apology gift from me. But you didn't do anything wrong. Then why are you avoiding me? I was afraid I couldn't hide my feelings. But I could never say that out loud. Maybe seeing me silent. James changed the subject. You don't seem to care why they were investigated. I asked back, confused. Why should I care? James chuckled softly, whispering, it's good that you don't care. 18. The life-changing battle for James was approaching. Suddenly, the captain assigned me to a closed training camp. The training lasted a month. I had no right to refuse. I knew James would definitely win that battle, but I still worried about his safety. During the training, all outside communication was cut off. I forced myself to pour all my energy into the training. This special training really helped me improve and grow a lot. The day training ended was also the day James returned victorious. In my past life, I knew how much attention this event got. Now, experiencing it firsthand, I understood how exaggerated it really was. The hero of all the discussions was still lying in the hospital. James had been severely injured in the battle. His external wounds were probably treated by the medical pod. But I heard the side effects of his differentiation were serious. He was still unconscious. I knew he could survive this differentiation. But I secretly slipped into the hospital room to see him. After this, he would leave the military and enter politics. I was afraid that from then on, I would only see him on TV. I only intended to look at him briefly and leave. But unexpectedly, my longing and feelings for him were already so deep. Seeing him, I couldn't hold back tears. My fingers unconsciously brushed his cheek. At that moment, James opened his eyes. Before I could react, he grabbed my wrist. The next second, the world spun. I was pinned under him on the bed, held tightly. No time to explain anything. His mouth covered mine, fierce and demanding. It was hard to resist. James's entire body was hot. His burning warmth seemed to melt my skin too. I was like a cub captured by a beast. Helpless. His fangs pierced the gland on my neck. Strong pheromones flooded my body wildly. That night I went from resisting, to yielding, to cooperating. Sleepless through the night. The next morning, I woke in James's arms. Meeting his complex gaze, my heart sank slowly. Last night was an unconscious act. James said it was the instinct of an alpha. My heart ached like a knife twisting, but I forced myself to say, it's okay. I'll pretend it never happened. James was silent for a moment. It already happened. I will take responsibility for you. I didn't want him to suffer out of so-called responsibility. You don't have to force yourself. I won't use this against you. But as I said it, tears uncontrollably flowed down my face. James pulled me close and said softly, Ethan, you misunderstood. He called me Ethan. I was surprised. When I said unconscious, it wasn't to shirk responsibility, but because I regret giving you a bad first experience. I like you. I will marry you. Every word hit me hard. My mind went blank, but my cheeks grew redder and redder. 19. You like me? I was full of disbelief. I've liked you for a long time. James smiled back. It was the first time I saw him smile so openly. Lies. That's impossible. I still didn't believe him. Do you know why I didn't let you join my squad? I didn't understand why he changed the topic so suddenly, but I followed up and asked why. Because I knew I would go through this battle. Even though I knew I would win, I worried if you joined, it might change the trajectory. His strange words made me think of an astonishing possibility. I widened my eyes and stared at him. Unconsciously, I held his hand tighter. James comforted me by squeezing my hand. I don't care if I lose or not, but this battle will have heavy casualties. I'm afraid I can't protect you. If anything happens to you, I would never forgive myself. You. Yes. It was like he knew what I was about to say and cut me off. I've lived 2 lifetimes. I was shocked. Why? You were reborn too. You died once. Maybe even the heavens were moved by me. What do you mean? No matter how I asked, James wouldn't tell me. You really liked me for a long time? There's no point in lying to you. But we barely interacted in our past lives. You didn't want to interact with me. I was always watching you. My face flushed deeply again. So you never let me know. Before differentiation, I was called disabled by others. I thought I had no right to compare to William. Besides, I always thought you and William were close. I just wanted you to be happy. Turns out we were the same, both lacking confidence in ourselves. I thought you hated me. I like you. How could someone confess so smoothly and genuinely? Ethan, I've marked you. You will marry me, right? A beta can't be marked. I knew James knew this very well. He said it on purpose. I blushed furiously. Under his gaze, I slowly nodded. I will. 20. The news of James and me getting married caused an uproar. James, a new military and political figure, announced his marriage, breaking many Omega's hearts. Instead, I became the subject of public discussion. I expected backlash, but what I got was mostly blessings. My parents couldn't believe it. Their phones were flooded with calls. Ethan, cancel the engagement. Oliver is breaking down over this. My dad's scolding made me laugh. Because Oliver was upset. They wanted me to cancel? Ethan, be realistic. You should let James go to Oliver. An alpha and omega pairing is the right match. James is a person, not an object. How can you steal the one Oliver likes? I couldn't understand how my mom said those things as if they were facts. I didn't even have the energy to argue. James took the device. Auntie, please talk to me directly about these things from now on. His tone was calm but full of pressure. My mom was speechless. James, I didn't mean it like that. I only want what's best for you. Alpha and beta pairings don't matter. Also, Oliver really likes you. He's an omega. Better suited for you. James replied calmly. I know who is better suited. And I hope Annie knows it was me who begged Ethan to marry me. Impossible. Oliver's distressed face appeared on the screen. He's just a beta. How could you like him? Whether beta or omega doesn't matter. It's because he's Ethan. James remained calm. Oliver broke down further. No. James, how can you do this to me? I've liked you since childhood. I waited for you. I rejected so many for you. How can you be with Ethan? Your feelings don't concern me. James said and hung up. I thought Oliver would give up. But he went to James's workplace, making a scene. The news headline was about the misunderstanding caused by our similar faces. I love him so much. How could he betray me? Oliver cried in an interview, looking betrayed. People thought James had toyed with him. James didn't clarify publicly, just took me out in public. The rumors fell apart. People learned Oliver was my twin brother. Public opinion shifted. Oliver's attempts to steal his brother's husband put him in the spotlight. Someone even exposed how my parents always ignored me and favored Oliver. They were all harshly criticized. James was a hero of the alliance, and his status was heavy in the public's heart. As James's future partner, I naturally gained support too. They were so insulted. They could hardly live in the alliance anymore. This farce only ended after my parents took Oliver away from the alliance. 21. I asked James why he liked me. Actually, there's a saying that's true. Alphas are naturally attracted to omegas. I had a failed relationship before. Even though James and I were about to get married, sometimes I still lacked confidence in myself. Maybe James saw my insecurity. He gently kissed my lips and said, Ethan, have you ever wondered why only the two of us were reborn together? I shook my head. I never thought about that. James chuckled softly. Because we are destined to be part of the same world, regardless of gender. The day before the wedding, I got a call from William. I thought he wanted to bother me again, but he said, Are you happy now? Of course. William was silent for a long time, so long that I wanted to hang up. Then he said, As long as you're happy. Is there something you want? I asked, feeling strange. No. I sent you a wedding gift. No thanks. Without thinking, I refused. Let me send you one last gift. Thanks, but really no. I didn't want William's things to make James jealous. If there's nothing else, I'll hang up. Wait. I paused before hanging up. I'm sorry, Ethan. I was stupid and didn't recognize my feelings in time. So I missed you. Even though it's too late now. I know I can't make it up to you. That gift was ordered a long time ago. Please accept it. William's voice choked up near the end. I was caught off guard and didn't refuse in time before he quickly hung up. William was the head of his family now. Over the past year, his family was investigated multiple times by the Alliance. All the shady industries behind them were uncovered. Eventually, this traditional family declined. The Alliance's investigation was orchestrated by James behind the scenes. In the last life after I died, James hadn't spared William either. This time, he just brought it forward earlier. They were indeed corrupt, sooner or later. They had to be investigated, James said. He admitted his methods last life were much harsher than this one. He left them no way out. This time, he held back because I left William early. He just wanted to vent on my behalf. In the end, I never knew what gift William sent me. It never reached me. James intercepted it. I don't know what happened to it. 22. On the wedding day, I looked at the handsome man before me. For some reason, I remembered an interview from his past life. In that interview, the host asked if he had someone special. He said yes. For a long time after, everyone wondered who could make the cold, aloof colonel's heart move. But in the end, no one found any clues. Who would have thought it would be me? Extra. James's neighbors were twins. The older brother was quiet and well-behaved. The younger was noisy and mischievous. James was an only child. His parents were highly educated intellectuals. They raised him strictly from a young age. That made him mature earlier than other kids. His early maturity made him not fit in well. He found it hard to play with other children. Kids' world is simple. If you play together, you're friends. If not, then you're not. So James had no friends as a child. Only Ethan would always come to see him, either showing off childish toys or pretending to be Oliver to trick him. James didn't understand why others couldn't tell Ethan and Oliver apart. He thought they were easy to recognize. He could always see through Ethan's disguise easily. Ethan would get upset, but still come back next time. Like he had endless energy, innocent yet noisy. At first, James found the kid annoying. But gradually, he got used to the noise. He liked to call Ethan a childish brat. He thought it was fun to tease him until he got angry. Ethan was his only childhood playmate. But only James knew this. When Ethan's parents chatted with James's parents, they didn't hide their true opinions. James knew early that Ethan's parents cared a lot about gender. So he expected how badly Ethan would be treated when he differentiated as a beta. But James had no position to comfort Ethan. As Ethan grew older, he stopped coming to play. James was introverted. If Ethan didn't come, he wouldn't reach out either. Their relationship gradually faded. Ethan was sent to boarding school at 12. James even visited that school. The conditions were poor. He felt uncomfortable inside. But he was just a kid and couldn't do much. At that time, he didn't understand why Ethan's suffering bothered him so much. James didn't differentiate until he was 15. Though classified as a beta, he mentally accepted himself as disabled. He faced strange looks and words around him. James admitted those years weren't good for him. But his strong mentality made those experiences part of his future success. Actually, after Oliver was accepted to music university, he confessed to James once. James hadn't differentiated yet, so he couldn't smell pheromones. That was the only time he mixed up Ethan and Oliver. Later, he realized it wasn't that he didn't recognize them, but that he secretly wished the one confessing was Ethan. He thought Ethan and William were happy together. But Ethan had drowned and died. They gave up searching for his body within 2 days. James hired a professional recovery team. Though he knew hope was slim, he kept spending money to keep the search going. Ethan's death caused James great pain. He feared Ethan wouldn't rest in peace. James was never religious, but he prayed in front of many gods and Buddhas, climbed thousands of stairs, begging only to find Ethan's remains. He never expected that after one sleep, he would wake up in the past. When reborn, the first time James saw Ethan again at the Shin family, he resolved not to lose Ethan to anyone again.